I am glad the rumors just turned out to be rumors. I'm glad we don't have to wait until fall season until we see God Eater Episode 1. If you have yet to watch this series and you have no idea what the series is, I'm about to let you know before I dive into the review and my real first impressions of the episode. This series is made by Studio Ufotable, the studio that we know very well from previous seasons that have made Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. So, if you're familiar with their quality, with their production and all that, you should expect that in this series, God Eater. And I have to say, in some regards, this series actually looks a lot better than Fate Stay Night, and a lot of different reasons. It's a lot more vibrant with the colors. I noticed a lot of crazy ass fucking colors in this first episode. It looks so damn good. Everything looks hand-drawn, and there's a lot of CGI when it comes to the monsters, but everything else looks very hand-drawn. It looks fucking beautiful. So, if you have yet to see this first episode, I really don't want to spoil the surprise. I just want to tell you what studio it's by, and go give it a shot. It's an actual anime based off of a game, and usually when anime are based off of a game, it tends to turn out bad, but Studio Ufotable usually makes adaptations from games, and they do a good job with what they have, so look forward to a really good series here. So go watch that first episode if you yet to watch it. So, let's dive into these first impressions. So right off the bat, obviously, I want to dive into the production value and stuff like that, because this episode was delayed by an entire week. If you were unaware, God Eater Episode 1 was supposed to air last week on Sunday, but was delayed thanks to some form of production issues that arose right before the episode was about to air, and Studio Ufotable had to delay it an entire week because they said in an article that this wasn't up to the standards of what they wanted, and they felt like the production and all that wasn't right for the true diehard fans of God Eater and what people have come to know and love from Studio Ufotable. Now, I know that's not exact word-for-word quote, I know for a fact it's not, but that's the point. They were saying like they don't want to air this episode because there was something wrong with it that they did not want to see true fans or anyone see because it was something wrong with it. So I'm glad from looking at the episode, really diving into this episode, I was actually really paying attention to the production value because I was wanting to see where it looked like it was derping or something, see if there was any issues, and from what I could see is I didn't notice any glaring issue. Now, I do know the monsters or whatever, the Amagami or whatever they're called, I think that's how you call them, I know those monsters are CGI, but if I did not personally know, I would swear to you right now that was actually hand-drawn monsters because it looked really damn good for CGI, and a lot of that CGI in this episode actually looked better than even Fate Stay Night. Once again, it really goes to show that Studio Ufotable has gotten really good when it comes to producing this production week by week, because they've gotten a lot of training recently, if we think about it, because, I mean, they've had to deal with a very long series that was, you know, a 25-episode series. It doesn't seem like it's long. It really doesn't. That's standard stuff studios constantly make, but Studio Ufotable is a production company, like an anime company that makes a lot of production in their different anime, and you know this has to be a lot of work to do episode by episode like this type of quality, and so you gotta hand it to them. It seems like them making Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works just recently, it probably got the production team up into stuff to where they can probably produce this type of content a little bit faster than they normally did, so I'm glad that they're getting a lot of practice, because Studio Ufotable has grabbed a lot of projects recently. I mean, they're working on the Tales series, like a Tales anime. They're working on Heaven's Film. They worked on, you know, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. They're working on God Eater. They took it on a lot of projects. I mean, that doesn't seem that much compared to other studios, but that's a lot for Studio Ufotable. They usually only work on like one project once per year, and that's it. And so to see this, they've taken upon a lot of work, and I'm glad they're doing so good, and they're not really reducing the quality of the animation just to be able to meet deadlines. I'm really thankful that they're not a studio that's like that. I'm looking at a couple other studios that would do something like that, but I'm not gonna point any fingers. So anyways, the premise of God Eater. I am completely unaware of what this series is about. Like, I understand what's going on in the episode before I go any further. I mean, I'm unaware of the real plot, because from now, I know this is like based off of a game, like a PSP game, or PS Vita, or, you know, a PlayStation game or something in Japan. It's based off of a game, God Eater, and I have never played the game. I have no idea if it's a visual novel, an action game, RPG. I want to assume it's an RPG or a visual novel, one of those two, but I have never personally played the game, so I have no idea. I've never seen any of the trailers of God Eater or anything. I mean, I've seen the anime trailer and all that, but I haven't seen anything to God Eater, specifically the game and stuff like that. So, a couple of things I want to dive into is when it comes to this adaptation, I know Studio Photable changes things. They definitely change things when it comes to, you know, game adaptation, anime adaptation. They change some things. And I'm curious, how is this adaptation to long-term fans of God Eater that have played the games? How is this adaptation? Is it good? Is it bad? How do you feel about the way this episode was handled? Did Studio Photable grasp the atmosphere that game lovers have come to know from this franchise? Like, did the atmosphere fit correctly with this first episode? Was the character's voice acted right? I mean, let me know your thoughts, because I really want to hear that, because that's something I really like about Studio Photable, because usually they have this own way about them to where they try to grasp this atmosphere that might be similar to the game or exact opposite, where they tell their own story. So please let me know. I'm very curious to find out what game lovers of God Eater think about this first episode adaptation. So, now, the premise from what I can see is about to where the humans, they discover a new energy source, this Oracle Cell. I think that's what it was, Oracle Particle or Oracle Cell. Yeah, it's Oracle Cell. They discover this Oracle Cell, or they make it. They make this new energy, humans do, and in the beginning of the episode, you see this conversation between scientists that they were saying like they were stepping into the realm of God, because they were making a new energy source, and they say when natural resources run out, humans need to be able to still survive, so they need to be able to make their own natural resources. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, so obviously, humans were meddling, experimenting, and they made this Oracle Cell, which probably caused a lot of fucking issues, and most likely is the reason why humanity is hiding behind this damn wall, and also why there's these demon-type fucking creatures all over the world, and why our characters are trying to kill them and protect humanity. And I want to make a couple theories real quick. I like the way the name of the Oracle Cell and the way they said, like, they stepped into God's territory actually relates to God Eater's name. Like, let me explain. I don't know if I was supposed to really grasp that from the way the title was done and the dialogue, but that's what I got when I was looking into this episode. Supposedly, since, you know, the scientists stepped into God's realm, you know, and they made this Oracle Cell as supposedly a new resource or new energy, it made me think, like, okay, so they're calling themselves God Eaters. These God Eaters are the only things that could take out these demon creatures, and they need this God Arc that's their type of weapon to, you know, hurt them and harm them and really put a mortal wound on them. I was thinking, like, okay, so they're named God Eaters. Supposedly humanity stepped into the realm of God, so these God Eaters are like eating God. It's a very symbolic name if you think about it, because, you know, they stepped into the realm of God, they made these God Eaters with, I'm assuming, the Oracle Particle, or the Oracle Cell, and you make a lot of sense right there, like, God Eater. So, yeah, a very symbolic name that references how humanity stepped into the realm of God of messing with shit. And I don't know if this series is going to be supernatural. I mean, I know it's supernatural. I'm talking about, like, when it comes to the realm of God. Like, is there a God in this verse to where God punished humanity and probably made these type of creatures or something? Because for it to have a symbolic name of God Eater, you know, God Arc and stuff, it makes me assume there might be a God that might have punished humanity and did what is going on in the series. That's another possibility where the story can take. Now, I'm just theory crafting. Like I said, I'm completely unaware of what the real, full, official plotline of God Eater is, and please don't spoil me. That would ruin the surprise and the, you know, fun I could have with the series. But anyways, back on topic. One thing I want to say, though, about this, I really like the character designs. The character designs, I expected to look a lot like Fate characters. Like, I really, really expected the character designs to remind me so much of Fate. And they do, still, but they're not that similar. Like, usually when it comes to Studio Photable, they have this one set design with a lot of their, you know, animation art. It usually looks a lot like Fate, what we've come to know and love from Kar no Kyokai to Fate Stay Night and, you know, Fate Zero. Their animation and art usually look very similar, but that is because it's Kite Moon series. But looking at God Eater, it has this different atmosphere about it, along with this different type of art that I'm really respecting quite a bit. I'm glad Studio Photable is trying to branch out with a lot of their art. Now, Now, I've never personally seen any of Studio Photable's Tell series game openings or anything. I've never seen that, so I don't know how the animation or art is different from, you know, Fate Stay Night or Fate Zero. But from seeing God Eater, I'm glad, you know, they don't have one specific type of art style. They can really kind of slightly change it and make it more vibrant with colors. So, once again, props to Studio Photable. Overall, first episode, I'm liking the main character. I think his name is Linka. Like, he has one massive problem, as I can see. He rushes to his damn death to save people, and he doesn't give a shit about himself. Like, he'll run to go save a civilian that's about to get eaten alive, and he will die in the fucking process to do it. And that's a bad personality, because supposedly, you know, he's very rare as a person, because he's like a new type that has, like, this new type of God arc that could transform at the end of the episode. So I'm looking forward to finding out some more information about that as the episode proceeds onward into next week. But yeah, I mean, first episode, very, very good, very enjoyable. Definitely a runner-up for probably even the anime of the season, depending on how this goes. So yeah, I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but judging by Studio Photable, I'm going to assume with production value like this, it's going to be about 13 episodes, and maybe it'd be a 2-core. It most likely might be that, like, he'll split off into maybe a part 2 of God Eater, like, maybe 2 seasons away, maybe in winter season, we might see God Eater come back, because I highly doubt Studio Photable would go straight 24 to 22 or even 25 episodes with this type of quality without a break, because that's unheard of when it comes to them. They always take, you know, seasonal breaks after they finish, you know, one season. They take, like, maybe an entire year off and then they finish the second half. That's what they did with Fate Zero, remember. They took, like, 3 anime seasons off before they finished Fate Zero. But yeah, that's about it. So tell me your thoughts. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.